morning, Rian. It's here. Fortis Proactive Defense Solutions. Today I'm talking to Ross. And Ross Forsyth is from ECM Technologies. Ross, good morning and welcome.
Morning. Hi, Rian.
Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for the time. I appreciate that.
Appreciate the time as well, the exposure.
Ross, I know you guys have got quite the presence out there and you have quite a wide array of offerings. Give us a bit of a deep dive into what you guys do.
Well, specifically, ECM supplies the defense industry. Okay, so that can be government, military, police, a lot of controlled and dual purpose products. I was brought in to develop what we could sell to civilians, so or private entities, whether it's private security or the end user on the street. But the main purpose of what I do is to develop what we call the commercial wholesale market. So I supply to the gun shops, and that's about 80% of what I do as well. So, but ECM Technologies, 40 years old this year. You wouldn't, a lot of us didn't know about us because we were behind the scenes supplying the military. Yeah, so the offerings will vary from forensics, rape kits, everything like that, chain supply of evidence, all the way through to sighting for firearms, camelback military, cargo carrying, Lincoln cases. It's a massive offering that we have. We do run flats. We are Pirelli, military, truck bus, and agro as well. The truck tires. We even build those mobile bridges that you might be aware of when you may be serving. We represent maybe bridge as well. But for your listeners and your viewers, I think the pertinent stuff is that where I can supply to civilians, that kind of covers Trigicon, Surefire, ESS, Camelback Military, and the whole Safariland group, which is not just the holsters. We also supply Hatch, which is below that group, and Monadnock, which is less lethal, battens, those sort of things. Quite a couple of things. All the brands we work with, we're exclusive on as well. So we are the exclusive suppliers of Surefire since we supplied special forces and so on. There are a couple of things that I don't focus on for the commercial, correct here. A couple of other products that we supply that we call dual use, which aren't a main commercial offering because it requires an end user application and approval, but is still available to the private individual and entities as well. We've got quite a big presence in anti-poaching, whether it's governments like Sandbox or to even private anti-poaching services too. Yeah, so maybe that gives you kind of a feel of what we're about.
I must say I've gone through your website a little bit, and I could see that you offer such a wide variety of things, such a wide variety of end users. But actually listening to you mention this, I was sitting here going, oh, and on the inside, my eyes were getting bigger and bigger because it sounds a lot bigger when you say it than when you read it. Let's get to the firearms community very specifically. I want to talk more about your involvement in that, and specifically what do you offer these things direct to the public, or do you offer them to firearms dealers, and they offer them to the public?
Yeah, so we don't do direct supply unless it's business to business, so bulk purchases and services for specifically to entities. But overall, we would be supplying firearms related things on the commercial sector through dealers. That's correct. So if someone comes to our office, we wouldn't be supplying directly. We would advise them to stocking dealers and so on. As far as loan operators concerned, we supply your preferred, the dealers that already do support you guys a lot, like Aziza at CHS Guns and Redron SA Tactical, guys like that. But obviously, we supply all the gun shops throughout the entire country, from Cape Town all the way up to Messina. Sure. Yeah, but the private individual will be buying directly through them, and the dealers like that. Yeah.
Let's talk about the stuff that you do supply in that respect, so that viewers and listeners can get a better idea of what you guys are supplying, and you know what they're interested in. So let's just maybe start with, well, you mentioned the flashlights, but is that only for military use, or do you supply them for civilian purpose as well?
So Surefire is a mil-spec product, and some of the products are under ITAR, which means that we can't supply to you. Because remember, they also cover things like suppressors, hearing protection. There's quite a wide variety that Surefire does beyond just the weapons mounted lights. They have handhelds as well. They've got infrared designators and infrared illuminators. Um, so to get clarity there, just briefly, if the man on the street wants to understand, I can't give you an ITAR product unless it's the application that is done. However, so for example, don't ask me for their suppressors. They will only supply that to government and police, okay, sure. Suppressors. And the IR illuminators, that will be under controlled. Most of the other stuff is okay though. So you'll be looking at things like any of the weapons lights, the IR illuminators, not designators, helmet mounted ones, the IR beacons, we could supply that as well, that go on the helmets. Most of what the man on the street wants, they can get, except they're always asking for the suppressors, which I may not supply, and also the IR designators that we may not supply that to the man on the street. We can only supply it to government. But otherwise, everything that Surefire offers is available. Yeah.
Okay. Other products?
From Surefire?
Well, in general.
Oh, okay. Well, Trigicon, we might actually be the oldest Trigicon distributor in the world, actually. That's our champion brand. Because you do recall that it was started by a South African. They went to the States, made it big there, and with the Bidden family. So it actually was started, and ECM has been with them since the beginning. I speak under correction, but I believe if not the oldest, we're one of the oldest distributors in the world of Trigicon. Again, there are, in fact, there's very little there that's controlled. So most of the South Africans can get anything that Trigicon offers there, just for interest's sake. That would be, for those who are the Trigicon enthusiasts that know about the ACOGs and the RMRs and so on. So red dots, magnified optics, and the iron sights for the pistol. So we do all of that. But we are the entire Trigicon offering. Then, under the Safariland, the very popular thing, range for South Africa is the holsters, specifically duty holsters. There's lifetime warranty in terms of the duty gear, except for your basic wear and tear products. But these are products that are used daily by the cops in the States, by the military in the States, various high-profile entities around the world, and that's the quality of what you get through the Safariland holsters. But they've also moved into the civilian EDC, so inside the waistband offerings and so on. I will say that they are very strong on retention and duty gear in terms of the holsters. But the market in South Africa probably isn't aware of the EDC options that are available, which is that's my big project, to make sure everyone understands it. And we're not the most expensive, despite the fact that it's imported. People always assume that Safariland is super expensive.
Yes.
They would have, they also have the offerings of the mainstream, I'm going to say government and mainstream American products. So Surefire, Streamlight, and so on. They will have holsters that will accommodate those kind of flashlights too, and the red dots. So even going all the way to the east with the Holosuns and various other red dots. They do have offerings like that as well that accommodate that. So it's an incredibly comprehensive offering of holsters, which are impossible to hold in South Africa because everyone wants something that is not what we have in stock, which is quite a bit of graft. But it's very unlikely that we don't have an offering for you. So that's on the Safariland side. And then just the ESS. I'm not sure if I mentioned that. ESS is part of the Oakley Group. It's kind of eye safety systems. When you see the aircraft carriers in America, you all see them wearing those goggles and that sort of thing. That's ESS. But they've expanded to sunglasses and what we call the eye shields, which can accept prescription lenses as well. It's ballistic rating, Z87 codes. That's a certain shrapnel rating that it handles from what do we call it? You've got polarized, normal tints and so on as well, lens kits. You get different shape frames as well to combat external hearing, so you don't get that pressure pain and so on. Americans, they always have everything of everything, so they've expanded massively on ESS to beyond just the basic rudimentary eye protection that almost looks industrial. You can actually look cool wearing ESS nowadays. You don't need to look like a tappet. So that's the ESS slide. Any other questions on the glasses? Then
no,
when we go,
that answers it.
We also, by the way, we also work for, we supply American defense manufacturers, which we focus on the mounts of optics and aiming systems, very high quality, mil-spec mounting systems. Not the cheapest, but also not the most expensive. And we use it on some of our military contracts because, they can handle the massive 20 by 110s and so on. The really strong mounting, don't lose zero and so on. So we offer that as well. And it goes right down to red dot mounting as well. I'm just trying to think what else. Sorry, there's just so many brands. I think it's 6 brands. I'm trying to ask me more questions, Rian.
I think we've seen by now, because you've mentioned the price a couple of times. I think we've seen by now that buying cheap is not necessarily the long-term option. And I've seen that specifically when it comes to any sort of firearm accessory. And I think the same applies for the military. If you buy cheap, you're probably going to get the results you do not want. And that's always applicable. So you mentioned the stuff that's important, but it's not expensive. I've seen enough by now to know that it's probably better to pay a couple of bucks more and get something that really works and that's really supported if something goes wrong, because that's important too. And I assume you guys do support the stuff that you supply.
Yeah, there's a scenario we always see. I see it even on the fun side of competition, and of course when it matters, when your life's on the line. Nothing's perfect. I'm not going to say our stuff's flawless, but there's times when you don't have time for a warranty claim. The bad guy's coming, the bad guy's coming. That goes with the flashlights, it goes with aiming systems, that goes with a holster where you can't get retention, or they can get the firearm off you because you haven't got good retention. So there's that side of survival, saving your life. There isn't a time to quickly get a warranty claim. The other side is the cost, the knock-on cost that you have sometimes. I was at the IPSC, the World Shoots now in 2025 at Stilfontein, the Frontiers Range. And the costs that go into competitions, even for nationals, if it wasn't the World Shoot, for example, I was chatting to the guys from Kraftfontein Club that come up to Polokwane for a shoot. Massive costs involved in a competition. And if something goes on the blink, it's extremely disruptive in your headspace when you're shooting competition. And the other side is, if you don't get it right, if there is a fail, the money that you saved on your red dots, say, for example, in a pistol shoot, on an optic shoot or something, it is eaten up by double when you look at the costs relating to actually shooting competition. So a lot of guys who are committed on that level, they understand the economics of spend a bit more, you're not going to be, the variability on your performance won't be your equipment, it's going to be your abilities. That's kind of what you want to do with shooting, right? You kind of want to bring up as much variabilities as possible and let's just make a headspace and not equipment problems. When it comes to price, that's pretty much the bottom line of it. For my guys who are committed to go bags and so on and things like that, I know you do exercises at the end of level 1 of your training. The worst thing you can have is a bad pair of shoes and a bad backpack. And You're carrying things for 24 hours and your straps give up because you haven't got double bead stitching, like you get on your Camelback military. That's right. That is a real ball ache when you're walking for 24 hours holding your stuff. What do you do with it? How do you free up your hands? How do you hold your weapon? It's a real pain. So, unfortunately, we do have a 40% commission on American textiles. So that's pushed up the price. That's not all on us. You know what I mean? In fact, really, the fact we're not the guys that push up the price. It's just happens to be the landed cost of things after duties often. But you understand the principle of it's worth making sure you got the good stuff. I'm not saying we're the only solution, but it's worth spending on yourself if you're committed to this process. You know, if you've taken responsibility for your life, you bought a firearm, you're now training with lone operators, for example. There's a commitment that you've made to the process. Now just let's follow it right through to make sure that when it matters, you've got what it takes, you know. You've got the stuff that matters. So that's the story of it.
From our side, we often refer to lone operator as a learning, you know, a place where you learn all about because people often they're given space to use key because many people do have and that is the once you are working, you start learning what you need more, what you need less, or what you don't need at all. What is incomplete in the different place, with complete the wrong place to begin with, etc., etc. And the same goes for anything that you carry on your back. You do not want to be on some box somewhere and then realize that your backpack sucks. That's going to be a bad day for you, I think. So, how big an offering do you guys have in that respect, talking about backpacks, kit that you can carry on you?
Yeah. So on the Camelback side, it's actually a massive offering. Camelback Miltech, they call it. So when you go to the website, you actually need to find the Miltech link. There's recreational, that's not us. We are exclusive on the Miltech side. Okay. So there's 3 color offerings. You got the Coyote, multicam, and what I call very off-white, otherwise known as black. So you only got 3 colors. Okay. You got one big reservoir. They all come with a 3-liter reservoir. All right. So you can actually buy a pack there that is only what we call hydration only. All right, which has no packaging. Not very popular with our circles. Then it starts with, this is besides the reservoir. You get your cargo capacity that will start from 3 liters, 8 liters. You'll go up to 20 liters on the Hawk, then 37, 39, you go right up to 49. It is various sizes, right up to 49 liters of cargo that's separate from your reservoir. Okay, and it's all got the ripstop in it, the lifetime warranty, and so on. Again, this is kind of daily use kind of packs. So you've got a variety. Like for example, when I do my off-roading on the KTM, then I've got the mule, which has just got 8 liters. It's got the 3-liter reservoir, but it's got the 8 liters packaging, which is enough for a small kit, all that hydration, a little bit of snacks and stuff like that. It's a very nice go bag. I have one also for my wife. It's a go bag with the IFAC and all that sort of stuff in there, with a couple of extra things for the kids if she's stuck on the side of the road and has to walk straight away. It's enough, and it's super compact. It's really comfortable. It's got the hip belts and so on, but it's flat enough even when it's totally full to put behind the bucky rear seat. You know, so it's an extremely convenient go bag size. That is actually my daily carry at the moment, until it got stolen because I live in South Africa. But that's what I'm telling you. You can start with really small sizes, which are super convenient to walk with around every day, and go right up to like a couple of days worth of ops pack. The thing about the Camelbacks is they weren't seeking out just economy or like value for money. It might sound negative, but basically they were ops specific design. So your Hawk is they were designed specifically for the SEALs in America. They wanted certain pockets, certain formats and so on for the type of equipment that they had. So it wasn't about like, oh, how can we get the most out of the range? It was more about what do they want? They made that, and that's how much it costs. So there's a bit of it's quite a different approach to what we normally see on the market. It was more end user specific, and then it was available to us. So you have a very specific purpose-built pack, which is kind of a different approach. Again, that's why it's also not going to be the cheapest thing, because it's not about the value. It's not just about, sorry, that sounds negative, but it's not about the price. It's about the function. Yeah. The other features that CamelBak does have overall, though, is that it's got the antifungal properties in the tube. It's got the insulation of the tube, so you're not drinking warm water when it is in a crazy hot place. It's got a quarter turn twist on your reservoir, so you know when the bombs are going off around you, you can scoop the water quicker and close and open and close it quickly. You know, it's like I said, it's actually specifically battle designed. It's not, which is a little bit surprising for our civilian market. And it can keep your water fresh for about 3 months in there. We do have filters that also work in tandem with the bite valve that you get with it as well. And you can buy reservoirs separately as well. A lot of guys like our reservoirs. Even some local manufacturers will order our reservoirs for their built packs because of its quality. It doesn't leak. You can handle incredible pressure even when it's full without bursting. And again, yeah, everything stays clean and fresh quite easily. But because we do military contracts and so on, we have to have all the consumables that come with it, which obviously then our market can enjoy. So the parts that do eventually wear out, the bite valves, the pipes, those sort of things, we have that. We do offer that. Yeah. So a lovely pack to live with. Near infrared as well, because sometimes, the bad guys are trying to find you with a thermal imager, right? Remember, like last Tuesday, you can hide behind your pack and we call it NIR, but definitely worth the money.
Well, yeah, personally, I think so. I'm sure there are people who will disagree, but I certainly think that's worth the money. Ross, tell me, I know you guys have got an involvement with the sports shooting fraternity as well.
Yeah, because, Trichicon did expand into that beyond just crazy battle gear, battle sites and that kind of thing, even going further into hunting and long range. But bringing it back to the IPSC, for example, that this was here in the month of September, we're very strong with the SRO, a specialized reflex optic, which was specifically designed for pistol application. It does get used on rifles and so on. It's just the focus was to have very quick acquisition and to be extremely reliable, because the Gs that you get on a pistol are totally next level and in both directions, even above rifles, anything that you can't really think of. So the SRO has become extremely popular for the reasons that I cited earlier. It's a top-loading battery and so on, and it's proven to be very like a favorite. A couple of guys who got the standings and first and seconds and thirds in our country were with using our products there. But besides that, it's just good to be involved in the community because, it's our people, they support us. And normally if they're competing, they have EDC as well. Let's face it, a competitive shooter will very likely be carrying as well. So we like to kind of get behind that and support a couple of the guys. And I'm very proud of how the South Africans did, the IPSC 2025. It was good to see a couple of the people we've been supporting. Shooting Stuff had Shooting Stuff, the shop, Centurion there, they've done, they were supporting, they have a team there, we've supported them as well. The ladies team came second in the world. Our junior, Leon, he came second in the world. Sorry, our ladies came third. Leon came second in the world for juniors. I mean, that's out of with our optics.
How old is he?
Is it 15 or 16? Sorry, I shouldn't. He's young. He's a kid, all right? Real gentleman. He did so well, hey? Our South Africans did really nice. Whether they were using my optics or not, it was really good to see them up on the podium. I should send you some shots on that. Both the teams, our senior guys, Also, we had some first places, and we're talking about between 60 countries, eh? It was really, I'm so proud of our community and so on. So, and again, part of backing up is also making sure that you back them up if there is an issue, because they do happen. So that's how we like to make sure that they get to their goals as far as we can help. Yeah.
Well, Ross, I don't know if you've got anything to add to that. I think we've covered it pretty decently for the sake of this video. I'm going to be displaying your website details on the screen as well, as I mentioned previously, so people who want to get hold of you will be able to do so. But again, just for the viewers, keep in mind that they do not supply directly to the public. Okay? So you get the products at gun shops all over the place. But it's good to go and take a look so that you know what they offer, and then you know what you're buying, and you know you're buying quality stuff. Ross, unless you've got anything else to add, I think I'm gonna end it there.
Yeah, we're all good there. Thanks, man. Thank you for the opportunity, and I'm looking forward to connecting more with your people. It's been great to see them understanding the value of quality products, and I think it really comes to the fore in your training. Quality of products really comes to the fore because it's dragging through the dust, it's going through the water, it's the dropping, it's the real life scenarios where you don't just sit with this mollycoddled product in a case somewhere. And that's pretty much what our products are about. And I think it's very much in line with the needs of those that are being trained by you and those in your tribe. So I'm very keen to make sure we can support what you do there. And the dealers that also support you, I'm keen to we're already getting behind them as well. So I believe they're going to be making good value there.
Yeah. And we absolutely appreciate that. So definitely from our side, worthwhile having that connection. Thank you so much. And then just for the viewers, as always, you know how this works. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, smash that bell icon so that you can get more notifications from all our new videos. And if you are interested in anything to do with loan operator, any of the whole bouquet of courses that's offered under loan operator, there will be a link in the description below. Check it out, and hopefully we see you on a range one of these days. Ross, that's it from me. Thank you so much for your time once again. I hope you have a great day.
Thank you, Riam. You too.
All right, talk to you. Cheers.